Alright, so today we're going to be talking about Impressionism, and I apologize for having used my headphones, but gotta do what you gotta do. We're going to be discussing, first off, how are paintings of the Impressionists distinctly different than those before them. So I answer a little bit of this in the following question as well, but it basically just is the difference is the way the paint is applied and used. Okay, so paintings of this that led this movement depicted modern sexuality, political movements, and sensuality. And then the artists from this time period painted things that were different and painted them differently. In the past, paintings were pretty dreamy and beautiful. I kind of spoke a little bit about this in another blog, but just as time went on, the paintings changed, and I answer a little bit of this in the following question as well. Okay, so my following question is, what does avant-garde mean? How does it relate? Is it a step in the right direction, and why? So according to dictionary.com, avant-garde means an advanced group in any field, especially in the visual, literary, or musical arts, whose works are characterized chiefly by unorthodox and experimental methods. And then the standard Google definition is new and unusual or experimental ideas, especially in the arts or the people introducing them. So basically both of these are saying that it's the new and the experimental. The Impressionist movement was new and experimental. No one had painted like this in the past. So Collings mentioned Courbet, and this piece Collings states how Courbet was political, but he did not want to be involved in violence. Therefore, he painted politically instead of being involved in violence. In this painting, peasants were meant to be humble. The heroic side seems wrong. So people like Courbet were beginning to paint things differently, such as in that time period, people liked tasteful nudity, but people like Courbet were beginning to paint images of people such as lesbians, such as this painting. Another artist mentioned was Manet, and Manet began painting things that focused on color, which was also different from how things used to be. Each of these painters changed a small thing in their paintings and their purpose. Each did something new that led to the Impressionism movement, which leads to other movements, which leads to art in today. Later, Collings talks about Monet and how he made the style decision to paint from realism to impressionism. He painted outdoors and took into great consideration color, just like Manet. He painted sketches outside and then realized that these sketches are the paintings themselves, which is kind of what Professor Peck was talking about in his lecture. And then lastly, Collings mentions Suzanne. I had so much trouble trying to pronounce that correctly, which I probably still did, because I always do, but how he painted in a combination of all of these painters, which fully led to the Impressionism movement. And this is, I wouldn't say it's a step in the right direction, because art does not have a right or a wrong way. I think it's a step in a different direction, and ultimately this led to art today. So in that sense, yeah, people began to think of new ways to paint, and that just made painting so much more interesting. Okay, so the last question was, do you think that these paintings are nice? Why does Collins think that? So personally, I do think that these paintings are nice, but it's because I feel like I have an appreciation for a lot of different movements of art. I see it as color, as line, as texture, composition, and or the lack of thereof and stuff like that. Some paintings I do enjoy more than others, just as everyone does. For example, I'm not the fondest of this piece by Suzanne. But of course, that's just personal preference. I personally did not pick up on whether or not Collins thinks this as well. I thought that his documentary was mostly fact-based, not opinion-based, but I could safely assume that if he does like it, the reason behind it is that he has an appreciation for art as well. After all, he creates his films and he narrates these films with lots of information about artists. so he must have some interest in it. And yeah, but like most people, we just all like and dislike some things, and that's okay. Thank you.